Dobar dan, dobro nam došli na još jedan webinar u ciklusu e-twinning over the border, e-twinning preko granice, vodi nas svuda, a večeras evo i idemo i do Portugala. Molila bih vas samo koji ste nam se pridružili iz Hrvatske da napišete puno ime i prezime u Teamsu da kasnije možemo vidjeti tko nam je bio na popisu i dodijeliti vam potvrde. Isto tako kao i uvijek napominjemo da ako se niste uspjeli upisati, registrirati u sustavu EMA, da nam ovdje ostavite svoj e-mail adresu sa škole HR domene kako bismo vas mogli dodati. Mislim da je to. Otprilike nemamo potpisnu listu zato što nam Teams evo bilježi vašu prisutnost i vaše podatke. Kasnije na kraju ćemo podijeliti evaluaciju. Veselimo se današnjem izlaganju kolegice iz Portugala, a Anitu bih sada zamolila evo da krenemo sa i onim službenim dijelom, informativni video koji smo pripremili. Hvala Anita.
Može, hvala. Evo pozdravi od mene. Ako biste samo mogli svi isključiti vaše mikrofone, bila bih vam zahvalna. A ja ću poslije nadgledati i pripaziti da zbilja jeste isključili, ali samo da sad podijelim svoj ekran i da pogledamo ovaj kratki video. Evo, Alenka, samo mikrofon uključi.
Yeah. Sorry. We need to invite also our participants from abroad to share their emails to get the certificate of attendance if they want. So, yeah, you know the drill now. And afterwards, I will introduce, I will say a few lines about our guest, Marisa.
Okay, thank you, Marisa, for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
You've been a great supporter of ours since we started this series of webinars. So Alenka and I are both very thankful to have you with us today, all the way from Portugal. I was actually looking through a travel guide of Portugal about an hour before the webinar because I'm going on an Erasmus in just under a month to Portugal. So I'm very excited. Yes, I'm very excited. We're going to Lisbon.
Oh, great. I live further north. I live near Porto.
Oh, okay. Maybe next time. Maybe next time we can go to Porto.
I have to go to Porto.
I think you should. But guess where I'm going this summer?
Split.
I hope Croatia.
So we'll meet again.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
So am I. Can't wait.
So in this series of webinars, as you know, our colleagues from various countries present their history of e-twinning. We're looking forward to hearing how you started on your e-twinning journey. Alenka will say a few words of introduction on your behalf, and then about halfway through, the usual practice, as you know, is for us to stop you in your presentation and just ask you a few questions that the participants may have. So that's it from me for now. Over to you, Alenka.
Yes, well, while saying a few words about you, Marisa, you can start sharing your presentation so you can be ready when I finish. Thank you. So, Marisa, bom dia. Welcome.
Bom dia.
Marisa has been teaching English to Portuguese students aged 11 to 18 for more than 30 years. She's a firm believer in project work and emotional intelligence. She has been a member of the Portuguese Association of English Teachers since 1991 and a keen eTwinner since 2010. She has also coordinated a very successful Erasmus Plus project. She's a lifelong learner, a people's person, and a nature lover whose main interests in life are traveling, music, art, cinema, and of course, family. So, Marisa, what can I say? Looking very, very much forward to your presentation. And as I always greet my Portuguese friends, pastel de nata, the floor is yours.
Thank you, but I prefer port. Can you see my presentation? Yeah, good. Okay, so keeping it together with eTwinning, that's the title I chose for my presentation. And I would like to say, and I'm sure you agree with me, that some things never change. So let me introduce you to my younger self. These photographs were taken around 76, so I am that old. And I chose to begin the presentation with these photographs because even though things have changed drastically with technology and so many things that have been changing the world, I believe that deep inside, children are children. Things don't change. Children like learning while playing, like playing while learning, and we're not that different, really. We just use different tools. I think children love to learn, and it's actually easy to see that, I don't know from your experience, but we get lots of children who love school while they're in the primary school level, but then their love for school, their love for certain subjects dies down. And I think that's not because they don't like learning, it's because sometimes we forget how we were as children and how important it is to use play, to use project work, to use different ways and not just transmit information. You learn at your best when you have something you care about and can get pleasure in being engaged in, right? I'm sure you agree. So I think we as teachers, no matter how old we might be, should always ask the question, would we like to be a student in our lesson, in our class? Or are we just as boring as this cartoon here? Yeah, I'm sure my lecture has made you think, what a bore. I stopped listening after 5 minutes. I need a wee, which is not what we want in our lessons. I don't know what this is. Okay. So keeping it together with eTwinning. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is a progress, working together is a success. Why is eTwinning so good? Why did I join eTwinning? Because it's just a platform, but it makes our life easier, because we can find good partners, we can find a stage for the students, we can work with different classes, with different realities, with lots of European countries, and that's because eTwinning is there and it makes it possible. I don't know why this isn't moving. Okay, I don't want to bore you, but I looked up the expression to keep something together, and I think you can associate it with the idea of e-twinning. Literally, it means to bind two or more things physically together. It ensures something to remain structurally intact. It serves to remain in a pair or a group with one or more other people. So it's always to make sure that things work, they move on, and people stick together. I think that's what e-twinning does, or at least makes possible. Okay, I'll start with some advice now. Don't know if there are new e-twinners in the group, but I think old as I am, I can give some pretty good advice. And my advice is mainly to find reliable partners. And these are just a few of the reliable partners I've encountered throughout the years. And to find ways of being organized, okay? So develop your organizational skills. For example, and these are just examples again, when we start a project, right at the beginning, we create a timetable with all the hours where we can meet with different classes. For example, you have on the right here, you have a timetable with the times that the Croatian teacher was available, the Greek, the Italian, the Portuguese, 2 Portuguese partners, and the Romanian. So easily we can find out when we can set a class meeting or a live event. We also always have, even before the project starts, we have platforms where we can share material, leave notes, messages. We always have a Facebook group, a secret group, and a WhatsApp group. The other thing I think is a good idea to have is a list of activities and the dates when we want them to be finished. Nothing special, nothing, you don't need to be a genius, but sometimes this is where we fail when we have a project and we want it to work. Maybe we're not lucky with the partners we find, and maybe we're not very good at organizing ourselves. A bit about me now. I joined eTwinning in 2010, although I only really started working a bit more 2 years later, when I participated in the team of a Comenius project, which was being developed in my school. I have participated in 14 eTwinning projects, of which 6 were founded by me, not many, really. And I've been a main coordinator of a 3-year-long KA229 Erasmus project. 3 years because of COVID, it was extended. And because it was such a big project, it meant creating 2 eTwinning projects just for that one Erasmus project. These are the projects I've founded, the 6 of them. And in this presentation, I'm going to concentrate mainly in 3. Okay, Diary of You and Me, which was one of my first ones in 2015, which I loved. Out of the Box and Heritage Matters. Heritage Matters was the predecessor of the Erasmus project, which was called Eco Heritage Matters. I'll only concentrate on these 3, not because there are no interesting things to talk about the others, but because the idea of my presentation is to try to show some collaborative activities, some ways of working together, because that's sometimes what we need help with. And so I'm going to try to show a bit of these 3 projects. And later, if you want to talk about the others, we can talk about them too. So, Diary of You and Me was a very interesting project. It was during Euro 2016. And so the idea was to Portugal, Italy, Poland and Spain to create these characters. And so as an English teacher, and we were all English teachers, we connected the syllabus, the English language with a project, which is something that I always try to do. So we started with the mascot of Euro 2016. We presented the mascot to the students. We showed a video of a cartoon about about Victor, or Super Victor, the mascot. And then from there, we started working on the idea of creating a character, right? Each country did the same. Actually, 2 characters. We had material that we used in all the countries, and the students were invited to think of a background, interests, and other diet and other things related to the characters they were building. They worked in groups. They exchanged ideas, they debated, they came to conclusions, and they came up with a boy and a girl. Each country had to come up with 2 characters, a boy and a girl, or a male and a female. So it was interesting to see how the students got involved. They used dictionaries, they improved their English, they had to negotiate. It was very interesting. Okay, then from that base, we went on to create puppets. Each country decided what materials to use. We decided to create proper puppets with foam, which was brilliant. We obviously had to use a bit of our free time, free afternoons, but the kids were really involved. We also asked for the help of the art teacher. And in Portugal, we had a session with an artist to explain how to create these characters. And we created 2 puppets that you can see in this video. I don't know what time it is. Sorry, I'm getting lost already. Probably no time. I suggest you watch it later when you have a bit of time, okay? I had tremendous pleasure in doing this, creating and then giving voice to the characters. We had a video script, so there was a lot of work involved. Then, when all the characters were ready, they traveled. One of the character traveled, and the other character stayed behind to be the host. Here on the left, you can see the Mara, the Portuguese puppet, being put in a box. And with some presents and postcards, and being sent to, in our case, it was Italy. And on the right side, you can see the Portuguese class really happy, completely hysterical actually, when they received the Spanish character, which you can see here. It's like a hand glove with eyes, really cute. And you can see the box. And it had lots of presents as well. And what we did from then on was that the students took the character home with them, and they created situations like eating or watching TV, and they had to report it and they had to take pictures. For example, here you can see on the right at the bottom, you can see a school activity, a theatre play, a theatre company came to the school, so all the students were there, and there's a very happy student with the Italian character also in the show. And you can see it having soup. And obviously, being Diary of You and Me, all these activities were written in the form of a diary. The story of the traveling, whatever happened during the traveling of those who were lucky to travel, was told by the hosts. So the hosts had to continue writing the diaries and say what their days had been like. We created a magazine, which was the diary, and here you can see the Italian characters, the Polish characters, the Portuguese characters, and the Spanish characters. And inside the diary, you have the presentation of the profile of each of the characters, and you have what they did while they were abroad, and some other interesting things. There was also a video about their adventures while they were traveling. I would love to show you, to open these links and show you everything, but there's no time. So please watch it when you have time, okay? Right, so that was it. The next project I'd like to talk to you about is called Out of the Box. By now, you're probably thinking she loves toys. She loves puppets. Yes, I do. The base of this project was exactly it. It was exactly what the name says, a box with lots of toys, lots of potential characters. The students had to choose toys from that box. Each country did the same thing. In this project, we had Portugal, Greece, Croatia, Spain, and Italy. Our Croatian partner, I'm sure you know him, was Marco. Yeah. So everybody had a box of toys, and all the classes, all the groups involved picked 3 toys, right? It could be a giraffe, it could be a pig, it could be a princess, it doesn't matter. Each group chose 3 characters. And each group also chose 3 compulsory words, because the idea was to create stories. So groups, I'll explain better in the next slide. These characters and the 3 compulsory words were passed on to the other school, to another school. Let me try to explain better here. So we created chains, 26 chains. So if you look from left to right, for example, the first one, the Portuguese, the Unbeatables, because the groups gave themselves names. They were the ones who decided on 3 characters and the 3 compulsory words. In this case, I think it's hut, soil, and potato. Okay. Now, if you look from the right to your left, to the left, you have a Greek group. Okay, and they're going to be the Kickstarters. They're going to write a story where the main characters are the ones given by us, and they have to include the 3 compulsory potatoes. They have to include the 3 compulsory words in the story. When they finish, they send the story back to us. Don't know if I made it clear. Yeah? Okay, when we get the story written by the Greeks with our characters and our words, we have to decide on how to animate the story. Okay, so we can create a video, drama, animation, mimic, etc. Most of us decided to create videos. So we have the phase of the writing of the story. Again, small groups of students working, deciding, debating, and coming to an end, using the dictionary, improving their English, also creating a logo for their groups, also writing a little presentation of their groups, which you could see in this Padlet, all of them. And then obviously, the next phase, the storyboarding phase, we decide on the sounds, on the times, on the drawings. The students made the scenarios and the props. They recorded the voices. A lot of work, as you can imagine, but brilliant work, brilliant work. A pleasure. I don't know why this takes so long to change. Okay, in the end, we got 26 international chains which created 26 original stories written collaboratively, written and animated in a collaborative way. These are all the kids, all the groups, the 26 groups. And again, I invite you to open the links that I shared. Just a note, in Portugal, I used to have spelling bee sessions, which I'm going to go back to this year. I stopped because of COVID. And on that year, we showed all the films that we had produced to the school after the spelling bee contest, which was very, very nice. Finally, we have Heritage Matters, which involved more countries: Portugal, Croatia, Germany, Moldova, Romania, Greece, and Belgium. This one was more related to European values and human rights. I would like to share you the collaborative calendar that we created, but unfortunately, and that's why I've got this here, it's not available anymore. We used a very interesting tool called Tjurchen, which used to allow the calendars to be open for longer, but more recently, they only allow it to be open for 6 months. So I don't advise you to use it. There are other tools that are also nice. Don't use this one unless you don't mind losing the work 6 months later. Okay, on this project, we focused essentially on collaborative activities. So most of the things we did were somehow collaborative, and when we try to develop collaborative work, the partners have to be really, really reliable, because you can't finish the product without everybody's part in it, and that's why it's so important to have reliable colleagues. We started our human rights collaborative panel on the 10th of December, on Human Rights Day. All of us worked around the 30 articles of the 30 human rights, and again we decided what materials to use to then create a joint product, which I will show in a second. So each country had to decide on how to design their own and make 6 replicas, okay? Because there were 6 countries. We then became 7, but at the start, there were only 6 of us. Again, we try to involve different types of teachers, like art teachers, citizenship. This again is the Portuguese example. We used Canvas, and the students translated the articles and wrote the articles on the material, and created 6 of each. When we had finished, we again, like previously, we sent ours to our partners, and our partners sent theirs to us. In the picture, you can see the end product. So you can see the Portuguese panel and all the others, the Croatian here, the Greek, and all the others, they're all here. So each school ended up with a replica of the work we'd created together, which is nice. It's still there. Then we moved on to creating a collaborative magazine. You must have also noticed that I really like this tool. Why do I like this tool called MadMags? I have used it quite a few times because it can work collaboratively. Each group of students or student creates pages which are then sent to MadMags, and then you have an administrator that puts everything together. But the pages are created by all the people who are interested in participating. In this phase, we were already 7, because Moldova had already joined us. So we had 7 heroes. And we obviously chose heroes that were examples of human dignity and ethical values in each country. Small national groups collaboratively created an international product. That's what we did, right? After collecting and editing the pages, like I was explaining before, the magazine was published. If you want to see the magazine, again, the link is there. In Portugal, we did, and in each country, I'm just going to tell you what we did in Portugal on the side of this. Our hero was Aristides de Sousa Mendes. I don't know if you have heard of him. The students watched a film of his life, and then I prepared an exhibition in the school library, and like a running questionnaire. So they were already preparing for the next phase without even knowing, and it was a very interesting activity. You can see the students working in groups, again looking for the information in the exhibition and running to the member of their group to collect the answers to the questionnaire. This helped prepare the content of the digital mag, and also the questions for the Kahoot game, which was the next collaborative activity that we did. Students from each country wrote multiple choice questions about their national hero, 21 in total. We put together the Kahoot game, and when it was ready, we set an event and played together. You can see the students here, and you can see the students reading the magazine and looking for potential questions, again, the Portuguese, and you can see them playing with their partners here. And finally, last but not least, we also created a website. We used Google Sites, which is, I advise you to explore it. It's very, very interesting. We had several points like art, culture, literature, gastronomy, poetry, and other topics. And again, the students were divided into groups, and each country had to prepare their pages. And we when it was ready, we also created quizzes that the teachers could use with their students, and the students would have to visit the website and look for the answers for the quiz. And we also participated, as usual, in Read Aloud Day, World Read Aloud Day, which is a date we like celebrating, and we did it in a way we could associate with the project, and this time with Anne Frank diaries, parts and quotes. And again, you have the link there if you want to investigate a bit further. Let me check the time.
Right. Time of year, so I didn't mean to stop you before.
I have so much to show, and it was difficult to put this together because because I don't like online presentations. I like face-to-face presentations, and B, there's so much. I really had to select, and I would love to show you more, but as you can see, the time.
No. There's still more time. I just wanted to stop you and ask a few questions.
Yeah.
I usually stop the presenters about 5:30, but it was just really interesting, and you started talking about this last project, so I thought I'd leave it a little bit longer. But I have just a few questions. You mentioned quite a few times in the presentations how important reliability is. I don't know if you realize that this is one of the words that that you repeated several times. Do you think you've been very lucky with the partners that you've had to date? Do you go back to the same partners? Because reliability in a project is definitely one of the key characteristics, isn't it? Knowing that you have somebody you can depend on, or people that you can depend on.
Definitely, I've been very lucky, especially late after a certain time. I was very lucky with my partners. They were all very reliable. But I can remember a project called Mad Mags, a magazine for young people. I was not the founder, but I joined the project. There were 4 countries involved, and I never saw the founder. I never met the founder. It was so disappointing, and because I was just starting, I really didn't want to give in or give up. So we kept going, and in the end, it was just 2 of us, right. Me and the Italian partner who I worked with in that project that I really liked, A Diary of You and Me, and. I actually asked the Portuguese NSA if I could apply for the quality label, because the only people who were left were, neither of them were founders, which was weird. And I remember feeling abandoned, and it was horrible. What saved it was that me and Alba, the Italian partner, just decided to carry on. And I actually got what do you call it? An honorable mention, which is strange, but very welcome. And that kept me going. Most of the time, I'd say 90%, 95% of the time, I've been very lucky. But I have tasted the bitterness of having working with people who you can't really rely on, and it's not nice.
No, it's not easy.
This year, for example, and I feel a bit like a fraud doing this, because this year I'm not on eTwinning. I'm not doing anything on eTwinning. A, because I don't like the platform, and it's going to take ages for me to like it. And B, because, as I said, I come from a very long, very tiring, rewarding, but very tiring Erasmus project. I'm crazy. I'd never participated in an Erasmus project, and I went into this one head first as a main coordinator, which is insane. So I needed a break. If the platform was easier to use, I would consider doing a little one, but I tried and I hated it, so I said, no, this year I'm going to concentrate on my my school exchanges, because I also do that. And no e-tweening this year. Why am I saying this?
But I think being a coordinator of an Erasmus project is a lot of work in itself anyway. Yes. And I know a lot of colleagues who are in Erasmuses have decided to kind of cut down a little bit on the e-twinning this year until the platform stabilizes itself. So yeah. I think it is actually getting better and faster, which is a good thing. But yeah, but yeah. I wanted also to ask, in a lot of these projects, you mentioned creativity and puppets, and I saw that there's quite a lot of slightly older children. I don't know if that's correct. What kind of age group you teach? I can't remember. And how? What the question is how do you animate and encourage and engage your pupils when it comes to projects in general, especially if they are in that slightly older age group?
Okay, for example, in this picture here, you can see students that they're already at university or working, but they were in a sports class. So they must have been in the 10th or 11th year. They didn't participate in all the activities because I try to involve as many students as I can. The younger students participated in most of the other activities. These in particular, they are on the site. They were responsible for the creation of the site, which was a more adult thing to do, right? So it wasn't at all difficult to involve them. How do you involve students? I don't know. You sell your fish, right? I don't know. You involve them. You ask them questions. You ask for suggestions. You start right at the start of the year with the presentation, with the group feel. Yeah, with the you make them feel like they belong to a group. They belong to a class or a group, and that they want to show themselves to their partners, and when they see their partners, they get excited. When they receive letters, they get excited. So bit by bit, they get more and more involved in the project. Also, I've been developing projects since 2014. So the students see that the classes I work with do things differently. You know, they might go out to take pictures. They might have an outdoor classroom day activity, whereas others don't. So it's kind of good publicity, and students end up wanting to get involved in these things. It's the same thing happened with Erasmus. Now everybody's asking me, when are you going to
do another one?
No, I'm retiring. Sorry.
but I think it's important if we as teachers show that kind of positive attitude, and we are engaged and believe in what we're doing as well. That's really important. I was thinking, you know, a lot of the time, or most of the time, we're always focused on engaging our pupils, getting them active, getting them involved and collaborating. It would be good if we as individuals, as teachers, could do the same for each other as well. I think that's one of the things about these webinars. We're trying to motivate each other.
But that's why, Anita, that's why I started my presentation. I think it was the only way I could start with pictures of me. It could be anyone else as a kid, because as we go old, we tend to forget, and there's so much pressure. There's exams, there's tests, there's syllabuses, there's so much pressure, and sometimes we forget that we were children and we liked jumping up and down and participating in games and creating with our hands, you know, at least I did, and I believe most of us did. So how can we expect kids to sit there and enjoy their lessons when there's no challenge? It is tiring for us sometimes, but it also compensates, because at the end of the day, you feel happy as well. Yeah. It's not just
the result. Yeah, it depends what the result is. You know, a lot of the time with projects, we say, what's the end result? You know, what magazine have we made? What calendar? What? And that's all fabulous. Those are all brilliant, tangible results. But a lot of the time, I find the results aren't always so tangible, and it's seeing things like, you know, a building of self-confidence, public speaking, critical thinking. All of these things are encompassed in a project. I stopped you. I'm not sure how many slides you have still to go. Shall I let you?
I've finished, really. I think that's the end.
Okay. So maybe because we have a little bit of time, you could show us some of the videos that you mentioned.
Okay, let me think.
I did actually want to share them in the chat, but I don't have the presentation with me. So possibly you can do that and share your screen, and we can have a look at some of the creative videos that the children made.
Well,
and there's another thing I just wanted to add with motivating students, and Marisa has said several times, I enjoy so much in creating the puppets. I'm crazy about doing this or that, and this is actually, I think, the key in our classrooms and our students' motivation.
But it's not easy.
If we are authentic.
For example, in Portugal, we're going through bad times. I don't know if you're following, but there have been loads of strikes, and there's a teacher on hunger strike. He started yesterday. There's a lot going on, and actually some colleagues look at you like, what the hell are you doing? Still working. People who do projects are criticized sometimes. But what they fail to see is that if I don't have these things, then I prefer working in a supermarket or something, you know, or whatever. Nothing against working in a supermarket. Are you still there?
Yes. I just turned my microphone off because of the noise.
Because I've stopped seeing.
We can hear you. I'm going also through your presentation. If I should share something, I don't know what you want me to share, maybe in the chat with our participants. But
I was trying to open the magazine, Our Heroes. Okay. Can you see it?
No, because you stopped sharing the screen, so you have to share again. Yeah.
Oh, where do I go then? Okay.
Yeah, it's really great that you shared your ideas about collaboration, how we can collaborate, because it has been a challenge for teachers, you know, to realize what real collaboration is and how to make collaborative results and activities. And several times you've also mentioned that you shared the link to the tool, and then you created something together, and this is really the key and the most important that the result is made together.
Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. This is a really good free app. It has one free version, and it is very easy to use. Very easy. Well, I would like to move you there. Okay. So this is the cover with our logo and the 7 heroes. Okay. So we identified the heroes on one side and some pictures. We identified the teachers and the classes involved, quite a few. We explained what this magazine was about. And then what you have is what the students created, a picture and some information about the heroes. It's nothing OTT, but it was a good base to work for the Kahoots, for example, and it was another way of finding out about these heroes. So one per country. This was done at the end of the year, so it's a very simple thing, as you can see. The Greek students actually went to interview someone who was related to their hero, which is interesting. You can see them here, I think. Yeah. It's the Moldovan one. And Aristides Tozamians. And the photos of the students there. Okay, and we have the link to the Kahoot game at the end, and that's it. It's simple, but done easily and collaboratively and interesting. And how do I get now?
Is it possible to, like, at the same time that more people can edit the magazine at the same time? Is it possible?
I think you can invite. I've never done it like that because it's complicated. Because if someone erases something, then you can't recover it. So it's better to leave the administrative role in one person. But I do believe you can invite other. I don't know if you call them administrators, but that's the role. You can have
collaborators, I suppose, to work on it, or editors. Yeah. Okay.
Right,
have you ever done some kind of activity or produced a result in international teams with students coming from different countries in a team?
Like what, for example?
Like, for example, this one, you mentioned that you created this collaborative, but in national teams. So have you ever organized a team where, you in a team, you have like kids from Portugal, Spain, and Italy doing something together?
Yeah, that's the most difficult thing, right? Yeah, that's the most difficult thing. Not because the kids wouldn't do it, but mostly because of time. It's difficult to have a time where everybody's free and everybody can meet. So it is complicated to work like that. You have to be lucky again. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw at the beginning of the presentation you had that spreadsheet where you said it's so important to be organized, and the teachers filled in the dates they were free. But getting the children involved, Alenka and I have participated in projects where a team has many different participants from different countries, and just getting them to work together, it's always a challenge. That is the best kind of collaboration if you're lucky enough to get them organized.
And you have to forget about getting them all together at the same time. That's almost impossible. Then you can, like, you have a team, and each team member can do a little bit of something on the same page, for example. They can write a story together.
That's easy.
Like, you just assign a part of the product that one of the partners has to create, then it works. but definitely a very challenging way of collaboration, and the most difficult one, but then again also somehow the most interesting one for kids.
Yeah, well, of course, we've had loads of online sessions where they sing Christmas songs or just say hello and can chat, but working together at the same time, more complicated. Yeah. But again, mostly because of time. During COVID, because they were all at home and they had most of them had their means, it was more easy. It was easier to create something together, but no, it's always complicated. And also, there's another thing. I don't know if it's happening in your schools, but in Portugal, at least in my school, the computers which used to work so well are now obsolete and need to be changed or fixed, and so it's much more difficult to organize things that involve technology. As an English teacher, I've been going back to basics, back to group work, pair work, presentations, and because I don't like having to prepare 2 lessons for each lesson, having to prepare 2. So I've just decided, okay, I'm not going to rely on computers or projectors. I'll just go back to basics. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
No,
and
no.
also with all the tools, you mentioned that the new platform is really hard to work with. We all agree it's moving time, and there have been a lot of hack attacks, as we heard
Oh yeah.
from the agency. Yeah. But then again, with so many tools like Padlet, for example, or we use Zoom or Teams or whatever to meet with our partners, I still see that a lot of people are collaborating and working on e-twinning. So the message that I would like to end with is that, although the platform itself maybe it isn't working that well, we can still use all other so many great tools for collaboration or to create new products. I remember in one of the projects, my students had a video conference. They had to ask each other questions. They took notes, and then afterwards they created each other's ID cards. So instead of presenting yourself, they presented each other. So it was a really nice and simple collaboration, and the result was actually, through their communication, and they created it together through speaking and communicating with each other. Yeah, and it's really simple with Canva, for example. You showed that Mad Max, but I think Canva is also very simple to collaborate and work on it together. Also with Anita is better with using Canva than me, but also I think now we can use it to create magazines like you showed, and presentations. You can share a PowerPoint presentation and then assign each slide to different partners, and there you go, you have a collaborative result. So I think sometimes you reminded me of it, Marisa, that sometimes going back to basics is actually something that we forget about. we want to try all the new things, all the new stuff, and sometimes we even lose time because we have to learn a new digital tool and everything. And then you have a PowerPoint, you share it, there you go. You can add music, you can add videos, and collaborate with PowerPoint, or write a story in the Word document with different colors from different countries, for example. And then you have also this collaborative result, which is visible with collaboration. Yeah. You have to stop me when I start talking about e-twinning and projects.
Stop.
You gave me time to try to open a video. My computer is very slow. That's another reason I have to clean. I have so much cleaning to do. I would like to see if you could see one of the videos that we made, the kids made a few years ago. One of those 26 stories, but I've got a feeling it's not going to.
Maybe you can put the link in the chat.
Yeah, put the link in the chat. I can also, we can see it now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, there are 26, they're all here. I'll show you this one, if it goes. Can you hear it? Ah. Nice. No.
Yeah, it's because when you share it, you have to click on include computer audio. Let me, if you have a link, you can paste it in the chat so we can.
So you can't hear it, right?
No.
Okay. Oh, it's like I said, you have all the links in the presentation.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it is. It was such a pleasure to do that. Really great. And the thing is, you can involve students who are a bit weak at English, but maybe good at drawing. Shy students become more confident. I don't know. I think it's about people. Yeah. It's about people.
That's teamwork. That's teamwork.
Yeah.
And I love eTwinning because of that. Because you know. Everyone can take part. Everyone can find something to contribute with in the project. So Marisa, thank you again. Anita, thank you.
Thank you
for working with me again. Daniela, thank you for joining us. So we don't feel alone in this virtual world. I invite all of you to turn on your cameras and wave to us.
And if you have any questions, you know, or if you want to chat, just contact me. I'm easy to find.
If you want a reliable partner, join Marisa.
Thank you, Marisa.
Thank you.
You know how it is with eTwinners. We are all open to collaborate, to contact, and yeah.
I hope I haven't bored.
You mentioned so many times to enjoy with our kids in the classrooms and with our colleagues all around Europe. That's like the best motivation for all of us.
Thank you, Marisa, from me as well. No, not at all, not at all. There's always lots to learn. Like I've made lots of notes and scribbles on a piece of paper. But thank you to all our participants today, to everyone who joined us. It's Easter holidays in Croatia.
Yes,
so the teachers who should be out relaxing somewhere decided to spend an hour with us. So thank you to them, and thank you to all our participants from across the border, and most of all to Alenka and to you as well. As always, time flies when you're having fun. So
one of my reliable partners is there, Mirko.
Okay.
I would also like to mention before we leave the room that exceptionally this week we're going to have another Over the Border webinar on Friday. So it's a special Easter treat this week.
So instead of relaxing this week, you have to participate in more webinars.
They will relax and join us. It's always a relaxing vibe in our webinars, I think. So see you on Friday. Marisa, thanks again. Obrigada.
Thank you. Hvala.
Hvala, Marisa.
And see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Mirko.